Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Liv, and this is Liv on Paper. Today I'm going to talk about my planner a little bit, but mostly I'm going to talk about journaling because it's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. So if you're interested, pull up a chair, come hang out with me. Let's talk about notebooks. So for planning, I'm still in the Wonderland 222, still in the Moterm cover. Not much has changed in here. Okay, one notable thing that I do want to kind of talk about. Last video, I was complaining about affirmations and that I was just going to give up on them because I thought they were pointless and stupid. And funnily enough, okay, so funny story. If you're into manifesting at all, you know that everybody on the internet is always like, as soon as you don't care about it, it comes. As soon as you give it up and you're like, I don't care, it comes. And I'm always like, that's so stupid. But it actually happened this time. There was one affirmation that I had been kind of put in here on a whim about 6 months ago, and then made like zero effort to make that thing happen. And 2 weeks after I was like, affirmations are dumb, I'm never doing those again, one of the things on my list came true with zero effort on my part. And I was like, damn it. So yeah, that happened. I have since gone back to affirmations, but they're all, like, none of them are about material things anymore. It's all about spiritual, I'm sorry, you probably can't read my messy handwriting, but they're more about spiritual advancement, which I feel like is really the only thing that what's the word? How to describe it? So after, I guess, I don't know. I've been on like a spiritual journey for about 10 years. I mean, longer, really, if you were to say. It's like been my whole life, but really more seriously in the last 10 years. And I've slowly come to the conclusion, really just this year, leaning into more like Stoic philosophy, that I don't think that I'm actually in control of anything out here. I really think, and the proof that I have for that is like, sometimes I try really hard and I get the thing. Sometimes I try really hard and I don't get the thing. Sometimes I don't try hard at all and I get the thing. Sometimes I don't try hard at all and I don't get the thing. It's like, it's so variable, right? Like, it's so variable, you know? And sometimes I write something down for 6 months and it comes true. And sometimes I write it down for years and it doesn't come true. So where does that lead you, right? Of course, then it's like the manifesting people are like, well, what are you thinking about? You know? And so I've just switched over completely to not thinking about like things that I want, but more, I guess, like conditions of my mind that I want. So I mentioned before, like, I want mental peace. I don't want to get jacked up by hearing bad news or like seeing something crappy on the news, or, you know, just worrying about a thing that I said 5 years ago to someone that probably offended them. I don't want to be bothered by that stuff anymore. I want to have a more peaceful mind, because really, like, that's Tim Grimes, I should link his channel too, because I love Tim Grimes' channel. He's the guy that talks about manifesting a lot, but he's a more practical approach to manifesting. And he says, the thing that we're trying to manifest isn't really what we want, right? The thing that we're trying to really manifest is peace. I want to feel okay about what I have. I want to feel content with what I have. And so, like, if you're just trying to get the next thing, you're not really going to be peaceful or content, because you're always just trying to get the next thing, right? So I want to just not care about the things. I don't want to care about the outside conditions, and just feel good inside peacefully. So I changed all of these to more spiritual, mental things. So, and I'm a Hare Krishna, so like constant communion with the Lord is one of the things that I want. I am the Lord's only. I don't belong to anyone else. I don't owe anyone else anything. I just owe the Lord, you know, my service, basically. I'm unattached to your results. I'm accepting that everything has gone exactly the way you want it to, Lord. I'm accepting things I cannot change. I'm working diligently on the things I can change in myself. I am flexible. That one, yeah, it has a double meaning, right? I would love to be flexible materially also, but flexible mentally. Like, I'm not too attached to any one idea, or like that kind of goes with I'm unattached to your results. I'm always aware that spiritual advancement is the goal, not material happiness. I'm in control of my reaction in this moment only, and I am grateful for the peace of my mind. So those are my new affirmations. Those are going well so far. And also, I've noticed that, the whole point of affirmations is that you practice them, and then when things come up, those are in your head to like tell yourself the truth when you're getting upset about stuff. So those have really helped me a lot lately. And I'm just keeping them in the back still. I also have some just plain note paper. Okay, so that's the journaling stuff that I'm gonna talk about in a minute. Otherwise, I'll just show you May so far. I don't remember the last video I did, so I'm not going to go too far back because I don't want to show a bunch of stuff that I've already shown. Yeah, my allergies have been driving me insane. Why do they get so much worse as we get older? I don't understand. So, yeah, these last couple weeks... I'm sorry, I feel like every time I get on here, I'm like, these last couple weeks have been wild. But they have. So, a couple of weeks ago, when was this? May 6th, so 2 weeks ago now, I guess. My little poodle passed away. That was shocking. I knew something was up the week before. I had made an appointment for her. She had an appointment on Wednesday, but we ended up having to take her to emergency on Monday. And that was that. Yeah, it was shocking in a lot of ways. I went in, we took her to emergency, and they whisked her back right away. And then they came out and were like, okay, we need you to fill out this form. And it was emergency, so it's like... it was going to be $800 for them to like just get her stable. Well, before I could fill that paperwork out, the technician came out with a DNR. And I was just like shocked. And it was, I do feel like I have a lot of trauma from my mom's whole hospital stay and situation. And it's old trauma. It's not even from this past time when she passed away, but from like 11 years ago when she first had her like major event that caused her brain damage. And so just like looking at the paper that said do not resuscitate was just like, ugh. And yeah, my husband didn't come in with me because we really thought it was not going to be that big of a deal. And so I was just like kind of frozen for a second, and I like just looked at the tech like, what should I do? And of course they can't answer that question because it's my dog, but it was just shocking. So that was really sad. But I do want to share this, and I'm sure this is in like grieving books and stuff, but I haven't read any grieving books, so I don't know. But I do have to say that for grief, the thing that I have found that helps the most, it doesn't make it go away, of course, but it helps, is to find gratitude and things to be grateful for about, even in the crappiest situations. And I know it feels weird. It's like, my dog just died. What can I be grateful about? But if you can find something to be grateful about, hold on to that thing, especially when you're feeling like, oh, everything's terrible. Hold on to that thing that you're grateful for. It will help, and it will make you feel better and kind of neutralize those feelings of despair. So yeah, and I feel like, yeah, that's all I can say. Just try to be grateful. I know it's hard, but I'm really grateful for my little dog, and for the time that we got with her. She was very sick 2 years ago, right around the time that I was diagnosed with Graves' disease, and so I felt like she and I made it through. Like, I really felt like, man, we were both almost died a couple of years ago and really came through. And so, I guess it was like a year and a half ago. It was in 2022, so almost 2 years ago. Yeah, so I just, it was a lot. It was a lot. I made it through, of course. I'm still here. I'm gonna put in a meme that I've been thinking about a lot lately too. It's like, if you're still here, you're not struggling with depression. Depression is struggling with you. And I really feel like that's how it's been lately. Like, I wouldn't say that I'm depressed, but I would say that depression is trying really hard to get a hold on me, and I am just not letting it. So this was this past week. Again, allergies are just kicking my butt. Oh, I need to do her toenails. I didn't do that yesterday. And I did ink my pens. And I did the Walmart order. So this was a pretty productive week. I didn't do any of my... Oh, I did get the curl cream, actually. Okay. I've also sort of just come to realize that this space over here is pretty much just a black hole. I saw Dakshana had a video about note-taking and not, like, losing things, and I just realized this space, I write stuff down here, but it doesn't get processed. It doesn't go anywhere. So, like, if you look at my past Hobonichi weeks, like, which I have out because I'm just, yep. Yeah, I just have information over here that just, you know, do I ever do anything with it? No, it never goes anywhere. Like, I wrote down horse chestnut tree. It's a beautiful tree. If I ever want to plant a tree someday, maybe that would be useful information, but I'm not going to put that anywhere, you know? So if you're looking at this and thinking, well, she's got it all together. No, I don't. I don't have it all together. Another thing I wanted to say is that I watch a lot of people who make giant lists. Like, they do a brain dump and it's just like a huge list. And I like watching that. I think that's cool. I've tried it before. That only freaks me out because then it's like I have to do the stuff on the giant list, which, let's be honest, I'm probably not going to do it all. And then there's a huge list of things that are not done that make me feel like I failed, you know? I don't like to do huge lists. I like to do a couple of things that I know I can do and focus on those things and actually get those things done. That's how my brain works. So this is this week, last week of school. Cannot wait. Otherwise, what did I put back here? I don't think I've even added anything to my book log. I stopped reading Xenocide by Orson Scott Card because it was just kind of boring. Not boring, I shouldn't say that. I don't know. It wasn't going fast enough for me. This was the only other thing that I've done, and this is just a little page about my dog, and I just wrote down all of the nicknames we have for her because, you know, I might not remember all of that in 5 years, and I kind of want to. So that's it for the planner. The other thing that I've been really, I'm not going to say struggling with, but I've really been contemplating journaling lately. I've come to a couple of conclusions. Let me show you a couple things in here that I can show you. I decorated, let me see. So let me just cover this side up. My daughter drew me a really cute picture for Mother's Day. Sorry, my desk is really messy, so. So she drew that for Mother's Day. This is going to be a table about energy stuff. I started writing down some lyrics, more art for my daughter, and then we were drawing Tamagotchis together. So this is how my journal starts. I do like some decorations in advance. If I'm drawing with my kid, I'll put some drawings into. So these are just decorated in advance. But I've realized, I was watching the 10 journal tag video from Documented Journey and Heather Mattern. And Heather, both of those videos are awesome. I'm going to link both of those so you can see them. But Heather talked about one year she had a really bad year and she didn't journal. And it was because when she went to journal, it just made her feel worse. Like, she would put out her feelings. I don't know exactly how, but she said essentially that journaling didn't help her feel better, and it also didn't give her clarity on what was happening. It just made her feel more confused and worse. And hearing her say that kind of clicked for me, like, oh yeah, that's kind of why I've not been into journaling lately. I could sit down and write all my feelings out, but I don't think that that's actually productive at this point because I just have a lot of negative feelings about stuff. And even if I bring it around to be positive at the end, for example, I wrote an entry in here a couple of weeks ago, really the last actual entry that I made in here. It was on April 29th. And I really wish I hadn't written that in here because it's all just me venting in a moment that I was really upset. And like, I wrote down a lot of things that I don't really think are true, but I was so upset in the moment that I was like, yeah, raging, and now it's in here and I don't really want it to be. And along that same vein, I was going to do the 10 journal tag question thing. And I was like, oh, I'll bust out some of my old journals and I'm going to do some decorating while we're sitting here chatting. I'll bust out some of my old journals and show people what my journaling is about. And I instantly regretted it because I took out some of my old journals and was like, wow, I hate reading these. Well, the one I did in particular that really just disgusted me was one that I had from college. And I was reading it and just like, wow, I was such a shithead. And it didn't feel good to read it. It made me feel a little bit ashamed. Like, wow, you really thought this was true? You really were okay with being like this? I hated it. So I'm probably not going to do that 10 journal question thing at the moment, but yeah, I just, I don't like reading my old journals. And that journal was from, I don't know, 2003 probably. I know I'm dating myself here, but yeah, 2003. And really, I didn't read any other journals. I was like, heck no. I did look at the one that I have from high school, which is the only one that's kind of fun to look at because I was still kind of an innocent child. But yeah, I don't like reading the other ones. And I realized this a couple of years ago also. And I think I've mentioned it before. I try really hard to be grateful in my journal and write things that I'm grateful for. So my journal in more recent years has become a gratitude journal more than anything else. I hope this lighting isn't all weird because some of it's light. Sorry, I've got, that's just how it is right now. So yeah, I don't want to read my old journals. And this brings me back to another question that I've had many times is that, should I burn my old journals? And I gotta tell you, as soon as I think that, there's an intense gut reaction, no! Because, for example, I know that there was an older journal than the one that I have from high school. And it was one of those cute little ones with kittens on the front playing with a ball of yarn, and it had golden edges and a little lock. And at some point in high school, I threw that away. And 30-year-old me is like, why in the world did you do that? Stupid. I would love right now to see what 8-year-old me was writing in a journal. You know what I mean? I would love to see that. 28-year-old me, not so much. But when I'm 50, will I want to see what 28-year-old me was writing in my journal? Where I am right now at 38, I'm like, no, there was nothing good in that journal. But then also I'm like, well, but, what if I wrote something really good about my mom in there? Or what if there's a really good memory of my mom in there that I don't remember? And if I get rid of it, then I'm never going to know, And I guess that brings me to the other thing that I've really been thinking about lately. And that is, I'm going to get a little deep here, sorry. But it's what am I going to leave behind when I die? And I've been thinking about this because my mom just passed away, of course. And I've been thinking I don't have any of my mom's journals. But if my dad was like, hey, I just found one of your mom's journals. Do you want it? Would I actually want to read my mom's journal? Right now, I am thinking, no. I would not want to read my mom's journal. Because what if my mom is writing about something that is like a huge thing in her life, but that I never knew about, and I now can't ask her any questions about it. I just know that this terrible thing happened. Or even not a terrible thing. Like, what if, like, I read my mom's journal and she's complaining about me? Or complaining about my dad? And I can't ask her any questions. I can't be, like, reassured by her, you know? Or, like, what if I find out some terrible family secret? Which, I don't know about other people, but, like, I feel like every time someone dies, like, some weird family secret comes out that nobody wanted to talk about while so-and-so was alive. But now that they're dead, we can talk about this. Like, I've learned so much about my family when someone dies, because people suddenly start talking about things that's like, what? I had no idea. So I don't really want to find out any of those things about my mom, to be honest with you. I don't. And I don't really, you know. And for example, the college journal that I picked up the other day, like, I really don't want my daughter to read that when I die and think, wow, my mom sucked, you know? Like, I don't. And so, yeah, I've been toying around with the idea of burning old journals for a long time. But like I said, I always get this, like, gut reaction of, like, it's scary, you know? And then also, like, how to proceed with journaling now. So that didn't work out well, did it? Perfectly straight line. Again, the videos that I was watching about the 10 journaling question tag, Bree from Documented Journey was saying that she has a journal that's just really a burn book. And she said it's for processing. So I assume it's for, like, big feelings. You know, yeah, big feelings and maybe negative emotions that she's trying to work out or just get out, you know. And I think, okay, I could do that. But then I also think, like, where do I draw the line between, like, I guess it's, I don't really want to classify feelings as bad, you know, or, like, negative. I don't know how to put it. I don't know, you know, I'm just kind of weird. I don't know how to proceed at this point. So then I'm like, okay, you don't have to journal, Olivia. You're, you know, just like Heather said, if you're in a weird place, like, and it's not serving you, then don't do it. You don't have to journal. But the other thing I think about is that I really like to write. I just like to write in notebooks. That's the whole reason I started planning. I don't know if I've talked about that on my channel before, but, like, I really got into planning just because I wanted to use my notebook every day. And I was in a journaling rut, similar to now. I was in a journaling rut and I wanted to write and use my notebook. And I found bullet journaling on Pinterest and I was like, I can do that. And that's really when I started planning. I didn't plan through high school or college or, you know, the first 2 years of my child's life. I did no planning. I didn't have a planner. I had a notebook that I wrote in. And so now I'm like, okay, Olivia, you don't have to journal feelings in a notebook to write in a notebook, right? So I busted out this old notebook. This is a Cafe Note B6 Slim by Nanami paper. And this is one of the old ones. It's the good Tomoe River paper. But I have used this for solo RPGs. I'm going to totally be a nerd right now and nerd out, but here we are. Solo RPGs are basically journaling games. And I don't know if you've ever heard of these. Some people in the fountain, I heard about this because of the fountain pen community, but they're basically games that you play by yourself that give you prompts. There's, like, an overarching story, and then there's prompts that you get either by, like, rolling dice or drawing cards. And then with the prompt, you're basically writing a story about whatever this adventure is. So right now I'm doing one called The Wasted. I'll see if I can link it below if anyone's interested. I know it's dorky, but I like it. And the premise is that you're playing a character who is on a spaceship that has just been attacked by an alien life force, and it's killed everyone on the crew except for you. And it's still out there. It's like on the outside of the ship now. And the ship is on life support. You're trying to get a rescue beacon started. And what are you doing while you're waiting for the rescue beacon while this monster's out there? And the game even says it's kind of based on like Alien or The Thing, or what was that other one? Event Horizon, which I like those movies. So, so yeah. And so basically there's a guide that comes with it, and the guide is filled with prompts that you randomly get, and you write down the story. And it's so much fun. I love it so much. I love it. It's super fun. This particular game is very fun. It's called The Wretched. There's another one that I loved so much called Long Haul. I think it's 1983. And in that one, your character is a trucker who just made a delivery out of state, and you're about to go back home. And when you wake up and realize there's no one else around in the whole world. There's no one there. And you're trying to get back to someone at home. They're just super fun. I really enjoy them. They're easy to do. I just sit down and, like I said, for this particular game, The Wretched, you just need one 6-sided dice and a pack of playing cards, and that's it, and a pen and paper. So I've been kind of doing my journaling that way. Let's see if I can show you. It's like, it's like a log basically. So yeah, you're logging each day, and then I'm just writing a story about, your character. I find it to be so fun, something like creative, but also easy. I don't know how to put it, but yeah, that has been super fun to me and has been like kind of scratching that journaling itch. Okay, the other thing that I am going to tell you about is, okay, so that was that. So that's what my journal looks like. This is how I set it up in advance, basically. And then I just fill it in as I go. But like I said, I haven't really been using this that much. I guess I could show you my page about my dog, Camille. I did this for my mom, too. It sounds kind of dorky, but I did this for my mom as well, where I just did a page in my notebook last year. I put my mom's name at the top and, her date, the important dates, and then memories, or like this was like leading up to, taking her to the vet. For my mom, it was like the hospital leading up to the end, and just like getting those feelings out because they're intense. And then just some sweet memories about my dog. Like, we have a bottle brush tree in our backyard. It's, yeah, they call it a bottle brush tree because the blossoms look like a bottle brush. They're like these red tassels that poke out, and they're really pretty. But it hangs down all the way to the ground, kind of like a weeping willow. So our dogs walk underneath, and Camille, even at the vet's office, I was plucking like little red strands of the bottle brush out of her hair. And that's something that I want to remember. And I probably won't in 10 years, but it's here just in case. And again, it's like, this is what I think about with journaling. It's like, in 10 years, I might want to come back and look and be like, oh yeah, she was such a good dog, And if I burn the journal, I won't be able to do that. So, that's kind of that's where I'm thinking. The other thing I've been doing, that I am going to talk about, and I don't have anything to show for it, but the other thing I've been doing is voice memos. On my phone. And I just, at the end of the night when everyone else is in bed, I just do a voice memo while I'm standing in my kitchen, and it's usually just venting about the day or talking about the day. I don't feel like sitting down and writing, and sometimes, like I said, I don't feel like writing negative stuff in my notebook that then I'm going to have to see every time I flip through my notebook. So instead, I'll just do a voice memo where, like, I don't listen to them again. I just sit there and I talk for sometimes like 30 minutes just talking to myself. And that has been very therapeutic to me lately. I started that really in March when I was going through some stuff. And yeah, again, like in March, I didn't want to write any of the stuff down. I didn't. And I don't think I did. Like, I just stopped journaling. And so the voice memos, I also feel like the voice memos are not going to last as long. So my phone right now is 5 years old. So my next phone I'm going to get, and I'm not going to do anything with those voice memos. They're just going to get deleted. And so I can be as open as I want in there without feeling like someone's going to possibly see it or, you know, listen to it later. No one, I don't, you know, it's going to be gone with the phone. So that's where I've been with journaling. I might do another video talking more about my journaling past. I feel like I pretty much covered it right now. I'm not going to do the 10 journal questions, I guess. Maybe at a later date I'll talk more about those. Yeah. But that's where I am now. And I hope if you guys have any advice or personal experience with like journaling ruts or thinking about, yeah, what we're going to leave behind. I know I'm not the only one thinking about this. I know other people are too. And it's like, if you have a journal that is not just shiny, rosy memory keeping, what are you going to do with that journal? You know, how are you going to deal with that? There is, okay, so this last thing before I go, I'm going to look it up and put a link in the profile, in my bio. Nope. A link in the description. There's a journal project. I think it's called the Great Journal Project, and it's a group of people that are collecting private journals and diaries from regular people and compiling them. There is some sort of rule about like you have to be dead before they can actually like show the journal or something, but they're basically going to display private journals to give a look into regular everyday person life, which I find fascinating because I would love to read a journal from someone from like the 1400s, you know, or from, you know what I mean? Like, I would love to read something like that. I would love to read a journal from someone in a different culture from a long time ago and see what their daily life was like. I've always wondered what does someone's daily life look like in ancient times. So that's another possibility, to just donate all of my journals to something like that, where they'll keep them until I think everybody relevant is dead, and then they'll do something with them. So that's also an option. I don't know. You know, I don't know. I have a trunk full of journals, and like, what am I going to do with them? I'm sort of attached to them, but I also, they're more like, they're baggage at this point, really. They're baggage. And I'm getting kind of tired of them. So, but that's how I feel right now. Who knows how I'm going to feel next week. Like I said, I still kick myself over getting rid of that journal from when I was 8. And I don't want to be kicking myself in 20 years and being like, why did you get rid of all that stuff? And plus, some of my later journals have memories of my daughter. So I don't really want to get rid of those. So it's a conundrum. But thank you for hanging out with me today. I know this was a long, chatty one, but like I said, if you have any insight to share with me about journaling and, you know, some of your solutions to these problems that I've talked about, because I know I'm not the only person that thinks about this stuff. So yeah, please share. And also, if you're watching and you have a YouTube channel, let me know in the comments and I will also support your channel, because I really appreciate the support from this little community that we're building already. And I'm very grateful for everyone that has taken the time to subscribe to my channel. If you're not subscribed already, please consider doing so, or liking this video, or leaving a comment. Any of those would be fine. I would like to talk to you and hang out with you a little bit more. So, and hopefully I'll be doing videos more often too. I know I'm kind of all over the place. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sticking around. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.